The night the rain refused to stop was the same night everything she had built collapsed in silence, because power means nothing when your heart finally tells the truth. At exactly midnight, when the city lights blurred into tears on the windshield of a luxury car, a woman who once controlled boardrooms, billion-dollar deals, and thousands of lives stood shaking on the porch of a modest house, knowing that one wrong love had ruined her wedding, her reputation, and her soul. She was Eleanor Wright, the celebrated CEO who had walked away from her own wedding hours before saying, "I do," and this was the door of Daniel Harris, a single father who never expected to see her again. Before this story pulls you deeper into heartbreak, healing, and second chances, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in kindness and forgiveness, subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories like this, and tell us in the comments where you are watching from, because stories like these connect hearts across the world. Eleanor Wright had spent her entire life chasing perfection. Raised in a world where love was conditional and success was the only language spoken, she learned early that emotions were weaknesses and ambition was survival. She climbed her way up through ruthless corporate ladders, earning respect but never warmth, admiration but never intimacy. Her wedding was supposed to be the final symbol of her victory, marrying Victor Langston, a man whose family name opened doors and whose presence fit perfectly beside her in glossy magazines and financial headlines. Everything about that day was flawless on the surface, from the imported flowers to the orchestra that echoed wealth and prestige. Yet as she stood there moments before the ceremony, something cracked inside her chest, a suffocating truth she had ignored for years. Victor represented everything Eleanor thought she wanted, but nothing her heart needed. The realization hit her not gently, but like a storm tearing through glass walls she had carefully built. She remembered the quiet afternoons she once spent at a small neighborhood park, helping a little girl tie her shoelaces while her father watched with tired gratitude. That father was Daniel Harris, a widowed school teacher struggling to raise his daughter Lily after losing his wife to illness. Eleanor had met him years ago when her car broke down in the rain, and he had offered nothing but simple help and warm tea without asking who she was or what she owned. Back then, she had dismissed that moment as insignificant, because people like Daniel did not belong in her carefully curated future. Daniel's life was the opposite of Eleanor's. There were no boardrooms or luxury dinners, only packed lunches, parent-teacher meetings, late-night grading, and quiet loneliness once Lily fell asleep. His grief had never left him, but it had softened him instead of hardening him. When Eleanor drifted out of his life without explanation, he accepted it as another reminder that some people pass through like seasons, leaving lessons behind. He never imagined that the woman who once laughed awkwardly in his small kitchen would become the most powerful CEO in the city, nor that she would one day appear at his door broken and desperate. The wedding collapsed without scandal or explanation. Eleanor simply left, shocking guests and humiliating families, walking away from everything she was supposed to want. The media painted her as cold, unstable, and selfish, but none of them saw the fear in her eyes as she drove through the night, guided by nothing but memory and regret. She did not know if Daniel would open the door, if he would hate her, or if he would even remember her beyond a passing kindness. All she knew was that she had loved the wrong man, and the right one had been quietly living his life without her. When Daniel opened the door that night, the past and present collided. Eleanor saw lines of exhaustion on his face, but also a calm strength she had never found in men who chased power. Lily was asleep down the hallway, her presence felt even in silence. Eleanor's success meant nothing in that moment. She was just a woman stripped of pride, standing in borrowed clothes, admitting to herself that she had run from the one place she felt human. Daniel did not ask for explanations or apologies. He let her sit, let her cry, and offered warmth without conditions, the same way he had years ago. The days that followed were not magically easy. Eleanor faced public backlash, legal battles, and the slow collapse of alliances built on convenience. Daniel faced his own fears, worried about letting someone so different into his daughter's life. Trust did not arrive quickly, and healing did not follow a straight path. Eleanor struggled to understand a life without constant control, learning to listen instead of command, to feel instead of calculate. She began spending mornings walking Lily to school, evenings cooking meals that did not come from catered menus, and nights confronting the loneliness she had masked with achievement. Daniel watched Eleanor change not through grand gestures, but through small sacrifices. She chose to miss meetings to attend school plays, stepped down from roles that demanded her soul, and learned that love was not something to be earned through performance. Lily, innocent and observant, became the bridge between two broken adults, reminding them both that safety and affection were not luxuries, but necessities. Slowly, Eleanor realized that success without love was just another form of failure, and Daniel realized that letting someone in again did not dishonor the love he had lost. As seasons changed, so did Eleanor's definition of strength. She rebuilt her company with compassion, valuing people over profit, and accepted that vulnerability was not weakness, but courage. The woman who once ruined her wedding became someone who rebuilt her life honestly, without spectacle. Daniel's home filled with laughter again, not replacing the past, but expanding it. The door that opened at midnight became the doorway to a future neither of them had planned, but both desperately needed. If this story has touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you that it is never too late to choose truth over comfort and love over image, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and let your support tell us these stories matter. Before the final moments fade, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and tell us what part of this story moved you the most, or whether you believe second chances can truly change lives. Because sometimes the greatest love stories are not the ones that begin at weddings, but the ones that start at midnight, in the rain, when someone finally finds the courage to knock on the right door.